Welcome back. I am your host. I am Attorney Stephen Leahy, and this is the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560. The answer. I wanted to do it before Jimmy got in. I've been remiss because I haven't discussed our big event coming October 2nd.
What's on October 2nd?
October 2nd is a Sunday at 5 o'clock, and we're going to be live. Oh, I like that.
We're going to be live?
We're going to be live, and we're going and we're going to take your question. And so if you...
Wait, we can take questions live?
Live, yes. We're going to be live. And
I thought that, yeah. I'm in Threes today, at Threes Company.
I saw that, but that's with your full financial recovery.
Knock on my door.
Okay, so, but I wanted to mention that anyway, that don't forget, October 2nd, call here. I believe the number is 312-642-5600. Okay, so and we're going to give that number away a lot on the show when we're live. And we're going to give you an opportunity. Yeah, we're going to give you an opportunity to ask the question. Get your head out of the sand, like I talked about.
Get your hand out of the cookie jar as well,
like I talked about in the blog segment. Okay, so you'll have an opportunity to ask a question, not only about IRS stuff, but about all these other things that I'm very capable of answering. So foreclosure stuff, bankruptcy stuff, consumer finance. Is your credit card coming after you? Talk about that. Call me. I'll tell you about that too. So, and if I don't know the answer, I know people who do. So anyway, we're gonna do the next segment.
Yes.
And now here's that man with a head just crammed full of knowledge, Mr. Know-It-All.
That's right. It's Mr. Know-It-All, the segment where Attorney Leahy answers all those legal questions that are really just stewing.
Even before you call, I'm answering the questions.
Wait until you call when
you
live.
Call, I'll answer your
when
question.
We're live.
Live.
It's going to be great.
You are looking live.
So the question is, can I get out of my...
Did you forget the question?
No, can I get out of IRS? Will the IRS just go away, leave me alone? Will they just leave me alone?
Or will my problem go on forever and ever and ever and ever?
Well, so you're saying that they won't just leave me alone?
That was the question.
Okay, wait, if I ignore them...
Can you fly under the radar screen?
Yes. They're not going to pay attention to me. I'm a small guy. I'm not a big player.
And this is the way the IRS works. It's the way they're set up is to make you think that they have forgotten about you. So I always get that question, I've been flying under the radar screen now for a couple of years, and I'm afraid to do anything. And this is why people don't file their tax returns after they have an IRS problem, because they're afraid that that's going to alert the IRS to their IRS problem. But believe me, the IRS knows you have an IRS problem. They're just a big organization that takes them a long time to get to you. And this is part of the problem, right? Because you file your tax return and you owe them money. And then they might send you a letter, but that's it. And then they go away. And now the next year comes and you think, I still owe them money, so I better not. I haven't heard from them. So if I file my tax return, they'll know, and I'll shake. It's like shaking a tree, and they'll start coming after me. So then people don't file their tax return, and now it's 2 years, and I've seen people go 4 or 5 years before the IRS starts coming around them. And again, now they haven't filed for 4 or 5 years, so it makes the problem much greater. Sometimes, I help a lot of people with payroll tax. I help companies with payroll taxes, and that's what happens with payroll taxes. A company will miss a quarter of payroll taxes or 2 quarters, and all of a sudden it's 3 quarters, 4 quarters, and the IRS hasn't said anything. So now it's 6 quarters, 8 quarters, 10 quarters, and still the IRS hasn't said anything. If the IRS would have come after them, or at least brought it to their attention at the second or the third quarter, I should say, then maybe they would have saved the business. But by the time it gets to that long, I owe them so much money. My business I'm never going to get out of the problem. So don't put the problem, and that's what we talked about in the first segment, right? Don't put your problem
that's right
under the mattress and hope it goes away. So the answer is you're not really flying under the radar system. The IRS is a bureaucratic albatross, or and it takes them time.
I knew I took a wrong turn.
I always liken it to a big ship, right? It takes a while for that ship to turn around and come after you.
It's like a battleship.
A battleship, exactly. So when the battleship finally turns around and puts their guns on you, you don't stand a chance. So sometimes it makes sense to get in front of the battleship.
Actually, Attorney Leahy, there are no more battleships. So, but guess what? They're aircraft carriers, and they can get you too.
But even the aircraft carrier is going by the way of that's going away too, because we have. Let's not talk about.
Let's get out of there. Get out of there. Let's talk about IRS issues.
Well, that's what we're talking about. It's a battleship that turns on you, and when it turns on you, you thought it forgot about you. It hasn't forgotten about you. It's just taking time for them to come after you, and that time sometimes creates a bigger problem than you need to have. So if you're having a problem and you think,
wait, I have one more question.
Okay, go ahead.
If I'm having issues, should I call somebody?
Yes, that's what I was just going to say, Jim, before I was so rudely interrupted. Wait. If you're having a problem and you think you're flying under the radar system and somehow you're going to get out of this, you're wrong. Don't wait for them to come after you. Don't wait for that battleship to focus on you. So anyway, I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All.
That's right. Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All. And thank you, listeners. Guys, we still have more show lined up for you. But before we do, remember, call Opem Tax Resolution if you have any IRS-related issues at 312-664-6649 or visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com, which is going to be your hub to fight the IRS. Again, stay tuned, because after the commercial break, we're going to be talking some Cubs clinchers. So we're coming right at you on AM 560, The Answer.